What is going on, everybody? Jim here, back with another video, here to talk to you guys today about BlizzCONLINE's opening ceremony. I'll probably do a video at the end of everything, which is tomorrow, if anything really cool surfaces. I'll just say that. There's still a lot of tentative stuff. But before I get into today's video, you have a very special job. All you have to do is subscribe. I mean, come on, how hard is it really, okay? Now, let's talk BlizzCon. This has been a very interesting year for Blizzard Entertainment. Obviously, I'm still a pretty big Blizzard fan. You can see the wall behind me of all the Diablo stuff and how much I love this company and loved this company and want to continue to love this company. Been a very weird time for Blizzard as a whole. I think everybody, just to frame everything, when Mike Morhaime left, the company changed radically. J. Allen Brack came in, and whether it was from his own direction or Big Daddy Activision, Blizzard changed. Definitely not for the better. We saw Warcraft 3 remastered, or reforged, I'm sorry, that came out. Incredibly broken experience. We saw Heroes of the Storm die before our very eyes. We saw StarCraft's official sanctioned tournaments be subbed out to another company. And Diablo Immortal made an appearance, this weird cell phone game that nobody asked for. Very odd time for the company. So going into this BlizzCon, and I did do a video about it when the schedule was posted. Going into this BlizzCon, I think we all kind of knew what to expect. The question is, does it give you the warm and fuzzies? And I can tell you, in years past, the 3 BlizzCons that I was fortunate enough to attend, opening ceremony really does set the stage for the entire experience. Everybody was huddled in one giant conference room. Well, I guess it was technically a conference room, a convention center, I guess, just this giant stage. Every year they had more and more people. Let's just say like 30,000 people on average. All focused, laser focused on the screen to hear what announcement was going to be for their favorite franchise. I have always been a Diablo guy, although I do really like StarCraft, and for a very long time, I was a big World of Warcraft person too. So super excited to hear what they were going to say. And when your respective creative director came out on stage, it was like, okay, shut up. So-and-so is coming out on stage to talk about Diablo, But it was after that opening ceremony, really, that hype of everybody screaming and cheering. They'd come out on stage and they'd say, okay, usually it's Mike Morhaime. Chris Metzen was there for a while before he retired. And then obviously J. Allen Brack, but I wasn't there anymore when he took over. Okay, everybody, this is our opening ceremony. Have a great con. And the lights come up. And that's really the first time looking around left and right as you ran to your respective area, of course, because you wanted to be first in line to play whatever the new game was. Really, that moment, hearing everybody talk, that hustle, that bustle, like, what did you think? Oh my God, was it good? Was it bad? People groaning, people crying, people cheering, whatever. That moment of like, did they pull it off? That's always that tense moment. And I live for that. I love that so much. And I can't put into words how exciting that energy is to be part of that experience. Try as I might. I have to say that this year will never, first of all, you can never replicate that in the virtual space. It's just never going to happen, okay? But I think this was probably about as good as we could have hoped for, all things considered. Yes, unfortunately, Heroes of the Storm, still a dead game. StarCraft, still a dead game. We now have this odd pseudo-celebration of Blizzard with this Blizzard 30, where they really kind of tried to reinforce back to our roots, back to classics in every panel that they gave. There wasn't a lot of panels, by the way. We got a little bit of Warcraft news with this new expansion, which does seem interesting. We got some Diablo news and we got some Hearthstone news, but that was it. Outside of, well, I guess technically we got the remastered original Blizzard games like Rock and Roll Racing and Lost Vikings. Whatever, that's throwaway. No one cares about that. everybody wants the new stuff, right? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And knowing what the schedule was going to be leading into this panel too, knowing what we should expect to see, I guess it delivered in that sense. I think Diablo 2 was probably the highlight of it for most people because it's coming out soon. We actually have something we can wrap our hands on. I would argue Hearthstone probably has some changes for the people that are still actively involved in that community. Although my group of friends who have largely abandoned Hearthstone, and you can see the Hearthstone, I'm leaning my head so you can see it over my shoulder there. My group of friends have largely abandoned Hearthstone. Although, sounds like it's going to be more accessible. It might be worth checking out again. We'll have to see. Yeah, it's one of those things where, you look at it and say, well, okay, what do we really expect here? We got a couple little tidbits of news. The worst kept secret in the world of Diablo 2 Remastered. That's coming out sooner than we thought. We're going to get that. But, the big drop of Diablo 4 still pushed out till years beyond. World of Warcraft expansion, eventually we'll see that, and nothing else on the horizon. No Overwatch news at all, not even mentioned in the keynote. I could see where people could be a little frustrated, but again, I say this is just a salvage year, and for whatever reason, some of that Blizzard magic I think was brought back. I think J. Allen Brack did a really good job with the limited announcements they had to build up hype for it. He is a very well-spoken person when he's not lying out of all 10 sides of his mouth. The way he kind of handled the transition from Mike Morhaime to coming over when he took over was very odd. And whether through fault of his own or big bad Activision, it's definitely not the company it was. I think that's the big takeaway. And this didn't return it to that form, by the way. This is not the old Blizzard Entertainment that we knew. It's definitely not. But I am happy to see that they are still alive and well. And despite the fact they may never go back to those exciting moments, that big hype announcements, those big, larger than life announcements for franchises and characters that are really timeless. It's about as good as we could have hoped for. I guess the silver lining for me was, the fact that my game, my beloved Diablo, did have a very big portion of the show, was very, very talked about. We got to see a brand new character class, which looks amazing. We got to get more information on Diablo 4, which is amazing. And we got to see Diablo 2, which we all loved. I loved it. I don't really think it aged very well, technically, but sounds like they're going to fix that problem. So we'll see where there's a panel actually. I'm recording this about 7:30 p.m. at night. There's actually a panel coming up soon to talk all about it. So like I said, if there's something worth talking about it, I may do a follow-up video. But if not, if this is the only thing I really talk about regarding Blizzard in the foreseeable future, I still love you guys. I still hope and want you to return to form. I know you're capable of it. And I know that this was a glimpse of some of the cool things you had. But, don't forget about the rich franchise of other things that you have. Don't forget StarCraft put you on the map. Don't forget that World of Warcraft isn't just, it is your cash cow, but it's not your only source of money. Think of Warcraft 3 and just how phenomenal that game was, and what a poor job you guys did covering it. And Heroes of the Storm, which was supposed to be BlizzCon the game, which just unfortunately fell under its own weight with so many creative director changes. We could redeem these things. We could bring them back. You can make things once was old could be new again. People will be talking about Diablo 2. People will be buying Diablo 2. That game came out forever ago. I remember playing that with my then girlfriend, now my wife, in my parents' house after high school. So we're just as excited now to replay that game. We're all old and gray as we were when we were, young guns 20 years ago. So there's a chance. There's some hope here, and I'll be curious to see as this year evolves and as news of this conference spreads out and they get to hear more reaction. I do commend them for doing an event. I think that's worth noting. But yeah, when your keynote only covers on a couple of your major franchises, I don't know what you could expect in terms of people being happy or sad. You know what I mean? So leave some comments below. Let me know your thoughts on BlizzCONLINE. I hope next year, 2022, by November-ish, I hope it's in person again. I would love to go and be there, be one of the thousands screaming, cheering fans, thousands and thousands, hopefully with this COVID nonsense in the rearview mirror. But until then, this is all we have, and we can be critics about it. That's what we're good at. So that's it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.